"Sir, you're not welcome here. Please leave before we call security." The waiter's words cut through the low murmur of the high-end steakhouse, loud enough for every table to hear. All heads turned toward the entrance, where a frail old man stood, his coat soaked from the rain, a worn military cap in his trembling hands, and eyes full of confusion. He looked down at his shoes, embarrassed. "I just wanted to sit down for a minute." The host leaned in, lowering his voice just enough to hide his cruelty under a smile. "This is not a shelter, sir. You need to go." Behind them, the restaurant buzzed with laughter, clinking glasses and polished suits. No one moved to help except one man. In the far back corner, 6 men sat quietly around a large table. They had short hair, broad shoulders, and the kind of calm presence that said they didn't need to prove anything. One of them, a man with a scar just beneath his jaw, slowly set down his glass. He stood. The waiter froze, recognizing the insignia tattooed on the man's wrist. Trident and anchor, Navy SEAL, and then another man at the table stood, and another until all 6 of them were on their feet. Silent as statues, eyes fixed on the old man. The restaurant fell completely still. One of the SEALs walked over to the elderly man, his boots echoing against the marble floor. "Sir," he said firmly, but with a gentleness rare in men who've seen war. "Are you Staff Sergeant Raymond Douglas?" The old man blinked, startled. "Yes, I was a long time ago." The SEAL snapped into a salute. "It's an honor." The waiter backed away, stammering. I didn't know." "You didn't ask." The SEAL cut him off, his voice low but charged. "You judged a man by his coat, not by his courage." Another SEAL stepped forward and gently took the old man's arm. "You're not leaving, Sergeant. You're dining with us." Tears welled in the old man's eyes. "You boys don't have to do that." "Yes, we do," the first SEAL said, "because you did it for us first." A hostess quickly cleared a chair. The 6 SEALs helped Raymond to the head of the table, like they were escorting a king. And in a way they were. The waiter disappeared. Other patrons began to whisper, stunned by the turn of events. But the story had only just begun. As the meal unfolded, the SEALs listened, truly listened, as Raymond shared stories from Vietnam, of nights spent in the jungle, of brothers who didn't make it home, of medals he never talked about because the real weight wasn't on his chest, but in his heart he didn't brag. He didn't ask for thanks. He just talked and they listened. And one by one the hardened warriors, men who had faced enemy fire, seen death, buried friends, began to tear up because they knew no matter how elite their training, how modern their weapons, they were standing on the shoulders of ghosts like Raymond. Halfway through the dinner, the restaurant manager arrived, having heard about the incident. He approached the table nervously. "Sergeant Douglas, we'd be honored to cover your meal tonight on the house." Raymond shook his head slowly. "I'm not here for a free meal, son. I just wanted a warm place to sit. I'm not trying to make trouble." One of the SEALs turned. He didn't ask for a handout. He earned this. Another leaned forward. "Hell, we should all be paying him for this table." The manager stood straighter. "You're right." "I'm sorry, Sergeant." Later, as they left, Raymond tried to slip out quietly back into the cold night. But before he could, the SEALs stopped him. "Where are you going?" one asked. "Back to the shelter," Raymond said, embarrassed. "It's not far." The man shook his head. "Not anymore. You're coming with us." Raymond blinked. "To where?" "Home." And without a word more, they gathered around him, shielding him from the rain with their jackets, guiding him into one of their trucks, making space not just in their vehicle, but in their lives. They didn't do it for a camera. There was no audience, no applause, just honor. Because real warriors don't forget the ones who paved the path. And in that quiet, rainy night, a forgotten soldier was reminded that his sacrifice still mattered, that the brotherhood he fought for hadn't died with time, that even in a world obsessed with youth and status, character still stood tall, because respect isn't given by title, it's earned by sacrifice. And sometimes the loudest act of heroism is silence. If this story touched you, subscribe to Kindness Speaks. The channel, hit that like button, the comments below.